Morning to you. Morning, Spencer.
Hey, what's going on?
We got some great guests, of course. On Wednesdays, we check in with the Port of Shelton with the two properties of Sanderson Field and Johns Prairie. It's Taylor and Wendy Smith. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Good to see you guys. And well, first things first, one of your great tenants, Skydive Kapowson, kicking off the Forest Festival parade in style with the skydivers coming in, and that's a great boon to the community. They're great folks. I'm sure great tenants.
Great tenants. Yeah, love to have them there.
That's awesome.
It's always exciting.
And when they came to town, they brought 20 families with them
something like that.
to move to this area. So it's a real economic development issue with them.
It's awesome.
More have come since.
And more have come since,
Well, it's a top-notch, world-renowned family and group. So, definitely check them out up at the Sanderson Field properties. What else is going on in the port news today?
Well, we got some exciting news.
Oh, please.
Well, yesterday we voted to sign a lease with a pyrotechnics company.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Tell me more.
Pyro Spectacular. They're actually based in California, but they have an office in Spokane, and they acquired, I don't remember the name, but one of the other big pyro companies that was based out of like Spanaway, and so they are the ones that do the Mariners, the Rainiers, the big stuff. So interesting story. It kind of came to us through a yacht club member, through a forest festival member, and we showed them some property and told them what we had, and didn't hear much back, and then all of a sudden they came back and said, we think we need, so they're storing their, I think they call them magazines, the big stuff. So what that means is some of it is pretty regular in regular storage containers that are made for this kind of thing, but some of them are large, and ATF and L&I explosives unit regulates them. So
interesting.
This isn't something that we should fear, or I mean, obviously
like in the corner in a cardboard box or something.
And they're not mixing chemicals and making. They're just simply storing. What happens is when they do a big show, like in Seattle, like for the Mariners, certain level of these explosives can't go into the city till the day of the event. So they can't be on site until the day of. And so to be all the way in Spokane, is their closest office, was pretty tough to get them there. So
and over the years that we've talked here on this show, we've tried to make it a point that Sanderson Field and Johns Prairie, Port of Shelton properties are a great launch pad for ways to get either out to the coast or up to Seattle or down south. I mean, it's real centrally located, and whether or not they use rail or whatnot, but other folks are able to use different modes of transportation to get in, and that's just one more example of that for the closeness. That's impressive.
Yeah, so it's a good thing, and they looked. I have to say we actually beat out, I think, Port of Chehalis. They looked there. They're right on the I-5 corridor, so it might seem easier, but they also put a different price tag on it when it's right off the I-5 corridor. So we've been working with them. We did our typical vetting process, and of course checked with our insurance company, et cetera. But we're just thrilled to have them.
That's exciting. Great.
And it could turn into something. This is just a 1-year lease with a 1-year option, but they've talked about some sort of a distribution warehouse at some point. So knowing that we're on the west side and that's where the needs are, they are a lot of the needs. So so it could turn into more eventually. But
just got a note from Central Mason Fire and EMS's Mike Petty. Says he met with them. He's excited to have them come into the community about that. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, they did all the right things. They went to all the right groups, and
So Mike just contacted you?
He just sent a note.
Hi, Mike.
He just sent a note just now.
Thanks, Mike.
So that's really fascinating. So kind of what is, where are they going to be? And do they have any special, other needs to an existing building that they'll have to retrofit? Or are you guys working on that?
We don't have any existing buildings for them. So, but yes, they would have to, it would be a long-term plan if they decided to locate here permanently and build something. That would have to be, again, regulated.
Right. I'm sure.
But they are located just, they're doing 10.4 acres at Johns Prairie. Wow. They're located, and that's a lot of it's setbacks. They're required to have, certain setbacks from roads and other tenants and that kind of thing. So they'll be south of Lynch Creek Farm.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Wow, that's exciting.
And they're containers is what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storage containers,
Okay.
special built storage containers in many cases.
Wow, that's
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Going back to kind of you versus, since you mentioned it, we'll just use the Port of Chehalis down there. It's on I-5, so you would assume easier access to get to places. But we're just 20 minutes from kind of the interchange to I-5,
Yep.
and the bridges are all high enough for semis to get through and
Well,
under, you think? Or some
There's
of these?
one bottleneck
Is there a little
that
bit
people
of one?
look at, and that's the one at 101 and Highway 8.
And Highway 8 there?
That-
Because it
it's
goes
kind
down
of
to
a
a
lower
one
bridge.
lane.
Because it goes
Yeah.
down to one lane and it's down to, I think it's 14 and a half feet, something like that.
Yeah,
So
and
it
it's
can,
kind of a
for
corner.
some big machinery items,
Oh, okay.
because we looked at that for some stuff that we were working on.
Sure. What are some of the ways that you talk potential tenants through that? How do you sell that?
That particular interchange,
Well,
or
if
just
somebody goes, listen, we drove out here and it's a beautiful place. We want to move here.
Yeah.
The one concern we have is this specific interchange. Is there something? How do
Yeah.
you rectify that? How do you tell them about that?
typically it's more on their end what their expectations are in terms of, I know, and I'll just mention previously with TrueFab, when they started doing the trailer retrofits for Boeing, that was a concern because they're super long. They
Yeah.
actually have a little driver in the back, but they measured it all out and it was okay in the end. So, you just talk it through. And when I mentioned Port of Chehalis, this isn't at all a competition.
Oh, yeah.
Ports are super good at sharing business. This was just dollars and cents. And I think this particular company, timing wise, some companies really need quick, easy,
Yeah, right away.
efficient
Okay, I see what you're
access.
saying.
Where this, is on a, kind of a as time permits
Yeah.
basis. They probably aren't running at regular times that others, so nothing against Port of Chehalis.
Sure.
I think it just was
Good fit.
It was a better fit
Economics,
for them.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
so we're
good
excited
on
for
that.
that.
Another
Yeah.
great feather in the cap for the port.
Yeah.
And, well, you guys are going to have to start building buildings, I think.
We are.
We are.
Jiminy
We are.
Christmas.
And actually, just as a side note, Commissioner Patterson and I were able to tour Fungi Perfecti's farm in Camilchi, and they're out of land. They can't do any more, and that's really their research, facility and their whole operation. They have port buildings. They have 6 of them, and so yeah, we definitely do. They're bursting at the seams. They're just a great company, and man, if you ever get a chance, do the tour. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And-
I have to look into that.
They're
Yeah.
fun guys over there.
Yes,
I
yes.
see what you did
yeah.
there. I see what you did there.
I
Next week,
need more coffee. Sorry.
You got to be awake this morning, yeah. There we go.
next week we got a great visit in from the new owners of the marina property.
Yes.
So we'll
Yeah.
talk about what their future plans are and
Yep.
get a little
Right.
bit
Yep.
more from that. Wow, cool. Well, great news. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Good to
Have
be
a
here.
good start
Thanks
to
for
the
coming
day
in.
here.